Good morning. Well, yeah, technically. Just after midnight. I'm not just waking up, but I'm not exactly waking up quickly. This whole cup of coffee just seems to have failed to do shit for me. Because I have so much on my brain. And I've been going through one thing after another. One business after another. One government agency after another. One national security need after another. It's like, just, why are you people not very smart? And I knew, I was kind of tired and didn't really feel like live streaming, but I knew something. I knew something was going to make me just have to live stream. And that is the North Korean envoy to Italy. So a North Korean diplomat in Italy poofed, went missing. And essentially, he and his wife defected to the West, as it were. Now, let me just give a dose of reality to to the reason why nobody's watching, to the reason why some world leaders or intelligence agencies or somebody really needs my help. I mean, I've given example after example after example of this. But here's the deal. In this little CNN thing, North Korean envoy to Italy goes missing. From 5 hours ago, it's now midnight. On CNN. They have the former deputy ambassador to Great Britain from North Korea, a previous defector, who supposedly told all. That, as they say, is just what they want you to think, dearies. I mean, I know as cliche and hyperbolically paranoid as it sounds, it's actually fucking correct. And it can be proven with the usual flawless logic. First of all, I just saw one video of this guy, and I knew he was lying. Because I could tell, by his eye movements, that he was fucking lying. So when you see somebody lying, you try to ascertain why they might be lying. I mean, this guy's like, these little down to the right movements, or repetitively down into one direction and then they go down into another direction as they're telling a different type of lie or a different type of truth. Or that's when the lie, as opposed to the well-rehearsed truths, they come the other direction with the well-rehearsed lie. Or the part of the lie that actually means the most. The part of the lie that makes them remember their family member that will be tortured. They look the other way. Down for this fact, down for this fact, down for this fact, and that one that really gets them, down the other way. And that's what he did. That's what the deputy ambassador to North Korea did. To Great Britain, the previous defector that they had interviewed on this CNN clip. 2 minutes 43 seconds long, for those of you who want to locate it. And the down to the other direction was where the money was going to. See, all this time, these different defectors here and there have told us a lot of things to make you think that they were not working for Russia. How else do you think they kept their families safe? You think they just defected from North Korea? That's our problem. That's the West's problem. We think, oh look, we won. Yay us. We're so cool. Why wouldn't we win? Because we're so cool. It's arrogance. Lesson one of this channel, basically. The reason why I called them fourth to begin with, though. It used to be a matter of, say, from 2011 to 2013, 2014, whenever the Night of the Laughing Dragon happened, just a matter of them in their own little part of the world and deceiving the rest of the world and causing it to turn in on itself. What unusual timing for a reconnect buffering thing. Then I said, come forth around, was it June or July from them? They came forth, didn't they? Now, from my perspective, I'm saying, come forth, and I put the shroud on the swords, and it waited until the shrouds got knocked off the swords, and then they invaded Crimea. Okay, and I see this very calm, almost ritualistic, here's how we start the play that ends the world thing. And on the one hand, I'm thinking, yes, it must be, blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, it's, I hope this doesn't work, so I get to prove that I'm just a crazy person. And then, like the fucking replicators on Star Trek or Stargate, they come forth. And right when that shroud falls off of the swords, had been there since the wedding. Wedding was 12, 13, 14. I put the shroud up there to kind of buy time. One last hope. Sorry, the reconnect buffering thing happened again. Went and turned off the other TV. That white shroud stayed on the sword rack. And the day, like the evening, I don't even know if it was the next day, but maybe the next day, but right after, like immediately after, that shroud fell. The cats knocked it down, of course. Yeah. It's only a matter of time, right? Prayer robe that she wore before the wedding. I draped it over those swords, and it fell down. And then the next day, there were little green men in Crimea. And then Russian Roulette, Episode 1. Now, from my perspective, when I do a magical spell, even with the shadow of the doubt that, if this doesn't work, you're just a fucking moron. You're crazy. Get over yourself. Move on with your life. Yay. It'd be nice. From my perspective, but just picture this from my perspective, though. That last real opportunity I had to doubt myself, to deny what God wants from me, basically, ended right there when something I had been calling the War Shrine expired. And I said what would happen when it expired. When it expired, shroud fell right there on that little countertop on a rack of katana blades. 2 were the swords that held up the wedding post, and the other was my sword. I abstained from use or need of it for that whole time. Which, let me just say, when you have a sword that isn't a show blade, that has, metal all the way through the handle, and it's multiple folded high carbon steel, it's a handy tool. So it's, it's not a lot of a sacrifice, but it was a faith sacrifice. Of reverence to God's control over the situation and over my life, and like I said, one last chance to be crazy. But then the invasion actually happened. They just took Crimea. I has it. And then they went into Ukraine. And when they were in Crimea, when it was just a little green men, I said, those are Russians, and they're taking Crimea. Before anybody admitted they were Russians, I said they were Russians. And before they invaded East Ukraine, while they were still taking Crimea, I said they're going to take Donbass. because of the protest, because of the pattern that was already existing there. I knew exactly where they would invade. And from then, maybe I made a little bit too bold of a calculation or warning or two, but my warnings were actually being listened to, it seemed, and at least maybe coincided with other people's opinions or the situation, and actions were taken that prevented those things from coming true, and I'm satisfied with that. But anyways, we are certainly at a weird situation where we have taken for granted our grasp of reality for far too long. And I really wish Obama would have taken things more seriously, but I always had the feeling that Obama was sort of a triple agent, you know? Like, to a certain extent, he had to play on with the weird sort of Bernie movement. But at the same time, he's the one who made sure there were certain things set up so that for the purposes of thoroughness, which is really fucking annoying, but yeah, for the best, I suppose. Look at me, trying to be patient. But anyways, saying, here, this is the truth, and turns out it wasn't the truth. It was just sort of a placating truth that fed our sense of superiority, and that fed our ego in condemning things like North Korea. But most certainly, we've been lied to before by what we know now. And we need to take a lot of time going back through all those lies and all those liars and see how we got fooled by them at the time. Anyways. So, whoever's watching, allegedly, thanks for joining. Welcome to another episode of shit most people can't figure out for themselves. Where I was just going to take a fucking nap, but then I saw this North Korean defector lying to the cameras, and he was apparently somebody who we thought had, already gone through and told us the truth about stuff, but he was still lying, and I thought that was worth mentioning. Now we have a new North Korean envoy missing in Italy, supposedly, or allegedly, most probably. Him and his wife have defected. Nice for them. But it comes at an odd time. It comes at a time where, especially Kim is in a position currently that he would want to feed Western entities, Western alliances, information. just because he's in a weird situation right now where he's kind of on the back burner, but he was told that he needs to be in the foreground, so he's trying to be in the foreground. It's a little deeper than that, obviously. Howdy, Mr. Conway. Three people all at once, eh? Did the notifications just go out? But anyways, basically, if North Korea is going to be in a position to where they're not in the spotlight anymore, they need to take advantage of the situation. So in order to take advantage of the situation, they need to make the Western powers think that it's going horribly for them, especially with the whole reunification with South Korea. They need to make it either seem like things are falling apart on the seams on the inside, or make it seem like all of the generals and all of the king's men actually want to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, you know? And that's what the defectors have come to tell us. Risking the lives of their children. Well, well, like I said, NATO should have like a BlackBerry or something, because all the shit that gets by them ain't gonna get by me, okay? Anyways, that seemed like one of the things that I could say on the channel without doing any harm, because, well, it's not going to do that much fucking good, and it's certainly not going to do anybody any harm knowing about it. It's the kind of thing that knowing about it is just kind of like an all stop to the situation. But, you know, unfortunately, Google makes sure that knowing about it ends with a few dozen people. Oh, that's okay, Google. Just keep digging your hole deeper. In the long term, you're doing me a favor. But then I'm sure you don't have a grasp of how that could possibly be. Nor will I even give you a hint. Anyways. So. There is often this question. Let's get back to let's get on with the greater point of what I wanted to discuss. What I've been thinking about a lot today. This basic choice that you're left with. It's not the only choices that there actually are. But as far as the end point of the rabbit holes, okay, and the end point of, say, major religions and major political movements, pseudo-political movements. the 1 and 2 troll account just logged on right before you woke up, and now they're off. Now that I'm done talking about North Korea. Because I guess they don't realize how juicy the shit I'm about to say is. Oh well. The two choices that false religion and false politics want to leave you with. One is an apocalyptic, world-ending war, and one is a never-ending, humanity enslaving, soul-draining, torturous, dividing, class separating, income separating, social status, race, and everything else separating war. So it's either big Armageddon war or never-ending bullshit war that the powers that be just perpetuate to keep people down, you know? And even at the top in these organizations, you got to speculate that it has to be one way or the other for them. They're either on the jihad side, you know. Either the whole world has to be conquered, or you have to maintain the status quo of fear and war so that people can never unify to actually make progress in society, so that they can stay powerful. Now, not that I'm a big fan of either theory. But I must say, if I had to choose, I would choose long live paint. Anyways, let's talk about that a little more after I get some coffee, and hopefully my battery will last long enough, or lasting enough, or whatever it feels like doing. Oh, ooh. Coffee. So, how are you doing, Mr. Conway? Oh, that's good. I'm getting anxious. It seems anytime I want to talk business, my messages don't go through. And that's kind of disturbing, right? I wish Apple realized that my business plan was actually the key to making them a permanently profitable company. And as their revenue projections just went down and their stocks kind of had a little tank, I can only find so much comfort in being right. You know? I'd rather be rich. Like, being right is cool. But you know, I got shit to do. You know? Anyways. Yeah, Apple was one of the few companies that I wasn't gonna eventually buy out. You know, like Google too. Like, Google's gonna be like, in my plan, if I'm successful, Google's still gonna be a profitable company. It's just gonna be a fucking search engine. Anyways. What I like doing is having to plug my. I like having to plug my fucking phone in when the battery dies. That's what I like doing. You know? What I like doing is thinking about the businesses that exist that succeed on shittiness and thinking of how to outcompete them with good. Thinking of how to actually outwork these people. Because when it all comes down to it, shittiness is just a manifestation of laziness, okay? And I, for one, think that if you organize properly and put in the hard work, you can severely defeat any company whose success is based on shittiness. Like, just as an analogy, the reason why I don't work for Honda anymore, because they got a new sales manager up there. In fact, I just ran into Curtis, my old sales manager, in Walmart the other day. I was just like, he's got a gangsta face, man. You ever just met somebody got a gangsta face? And not because he's black. Like, he just got that gangsta face. Even for a black guy, like not to quote Richard Pryor or anything, but if he went back to Africa and he asked them what tribe he was, they'd say probably Italian. You know, like, he's got a gangster face, man. But he was all about training the salespeople in the cars and the process. Cars process cars. That's how I know how to sell fucking cars. Okay, because I know the cars and I know the process. And not just like the actual, ringing up the customer, like writing down information, that kind of shit. That's, helpful, but it's, instead of saying, hi, how can I help you? You figure out something smarter to say. And every step of that process, you're not just presenting a product, you're trying to help the customer make a decision. Okay? But that's good old-fashioned fucking salesmanship, man. Okay? And that's what Curtis is focused on. And then they got this new guy in there. And he was like the Google of salesmen managers. Oh, yeah. Exactly like Google. He had us opening them up binders. Binders that had to be kept under lock and key because they contained credit information. And we were going through previous customers and finding people who already had cars and selling them new cars and telling them you can trade this in and come get in more debt, basically, because you've got good credit and we know this already, and we'd like to take advantage of it and sell a car to you that you don't really need. And he didn't want me waiting out there for customers to show up. He wanted me in this little fucking cubicle calling people. I had a family support. I kept going back. Then my car fucked up. And again, my energy was all screwed up, so, the electrical system malfunctioning isn't exactly surprising. But, it just wasn't meant to be, man. I wasn't. comfortable with that. It already made me want to quit. Then my car started fucking up. I didn't show up for 3 days, and then they started talking about I'm not going to give him his paycheck until he comes and talks to me about what. No. You're going to give my wife my fucking paycheck. And you're going to say some shit like that. You don't want to see me again, son. You might wind up with some fucking vision problems after that. Oh, where'd all these stars come from? And guess what? I see less and less Richard's Honda stickers all the time. In fact, I see less Hondas here in Baton Rouge all the time. They got some nice new Hondas. Should be selling like hotcakes. But most of the time when I see a richardshonda.com decal on the back of the windshield, which you get free car washes and shit if you just let us put that on there. More often than not, they're 2013 or older cars. I'm sure they're still selling some out there. But man, putting the work in, okay, instead of going through people's fucking records and try to take advantage and try to nickel and dime every fucking thing you can. Putting the work in and actually putting together a superior service. Even if all you're doing is a sales process, you can turn that sales process into an informative service and you get paid for it. I'm pretty sure what they were doing was illegal. I think they were technically skirting around some sort of technicality about the illegality of it, supposedly. But I still think that the principle of what they were doing is pretty much fucking illegal, going through people's credit reports and shit without them knowing, just to see who you can call to get into a car that they don't fucking need. Now, if you're at Kia or you're selling Chevys or something, you know, Fiats, Peugeots, you might be doing those people a favor. Oh, we got newer, safer cars now. Come get some. They get better gas mileage. They're just so much better. They'll save you money. Because, you know, go a few years back and they might have made some real shit boxes. But we're talking about Hondas here. What is a 3-year-old Honda? That is a Honda that has just started to be a Honda. Okay? That's just broken in. 3 years old, that's just broken in. That's just like, okay, you got a good one there. In 10 years, you might actually have to maintain it. You just do the fucking oil changes. Keep the tires on there. Don't be a dumbass with the brake pedal. And it's a Honda. It's a fucking Honda. You don't go through people's credit records when you sell Hondas. So more than illegal, it's just like, it's just blasphemy. Anyways. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work. And I tell you what, there isn't, I don't think there's a major American or company that operates in America that's a technological type company that I don't have a superior business model already planned for. Because I got too much fucking free time. That's, you know. Like, I could create a whole new market for Apple Incorporated to dominate. Okay? Eh, nobody's got the time for me. And I'm talking like a lot of different people. Even Russia. Russia could reduce cost and increase profits on their want to get into the technology world. If I just got this whole, it's a whole new market of platforming. And if you wanted Russian hackers on your phone, you could go and get that little module from Russia. Yeah. But don't expect me to feature it on the factory website. Militaries should want to pay me $1 billion a day just to talk to me. That's how much shit I'm holding back. Oh, I mean, you've got security all wrong. Just internet security, cyber security, information security, just all wrong. There's so many better ways of doing it. One particular way that's pretty much flawless and incorporates any possible improvement into the future into it, which is of course the way I have it planned out in my little business plan. But apparently nobody wants to be a billionaire. Maybe I should offer, what's her name? Tiffany Trump. Maybe I should offer Tiffany Trump the chance to invest. She could be like the little bastard child and invest in the pro-American business. just to spite the father that wouldn't fuck her. Why is he always fucking Ivanka? Doesn't he love me? Who are you? Yes, I always knew it was every Republican's dream to start a big family and fuck them. Out of money, I thought. I thought it was out of money. But, yeah. Apparently Trump got it a little twisted. You're supposed to betray others for the sake of your family, and fuck Russians because they're pretty. I don't know. I don't know. I thought there was a joke there, but I guess I was wrong. I don't know. It was like an inverse metaphor or something. See, he fucks his family and then betrays his country to Russia. No, you're supposed to be loyal to your family and fuck Russian brides. Yeah. Because you're a rich white man and you deserve it. If I get rich, I'm gonna like pay some male models to act as like men trying to get Russian brides. And we're gonna get them and just set them up with fucking jobs at apartments and shit. And like scholarships and whatever the fuck they want to do. Just, you're free now. I bet you they'd make great customer service agents. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Does anybody really, like, other than a drunk Russian man, does anybody really know how to yell at a woman with a Russian accent? No, you don't. You don't. Doesn't matter who you are. You're either intimidated or melting. Those are the only two states you can be in. Just like you're either like drooling and putty in their hand, or you're just kind of on a 360 alert for knives stabbing you. Wait, I haven't been watching this drink. Did anybody put anything in this? What? It's that accent, man. It's that accent. It's just like, oh, be afraid. Be very afraid. There are things going on that you don't know. You're just a naive little Westerner. It's this genetic fear. Of people who are not living in like an overgrown campsite. That's what America is, really. It's just an overgrown campsite. Just some people went camping and fucking stayed too long, and they're just like, we don't want to be with y'all anymore. Their wives are still looking for them. Oh, that's who's putting. That's who's sending all the Russian brides. See, they're just trying to lure their husbands back. Victor, how could you? I could lure Trump back. Just post a picture of his daughter. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. Not at all. Daughters serve one purpose in a man's life, in a father's life: to ruin women forever. Just to drive you completely fucking insane and make you realize that just all women are crazy, and it's just okay that you just found one and just made the best of it. And no matter what they've told you your whole life about men being disgusting, oh, it's actually women, girls, little girl. Oh. You don't even want to know. I'm not going to describe the things I've seen to you. One day you might have daughters, and then you'll know. See, Donald Trump never took care of his daughters, apparently, unless he was out drinking at a fucking fashion show or something. So he never experienced the proper phase of fatherhood in which having daughters just ruins women in general for you. The end. Anyways. You know, like, for some reason, not to just dwell on this subject, but I really am. I'm going back to these images of the parrots fucking, little statue with the parrots fucking, and like he's like half groping her, and then like the like lap dance grinding thing that she's doing at the fashion show, like. Just like, I think it's easier, like as a father, it's easier for me to empathize with Jeffrey Dahmer. I think I would probably, like, you know, like I wouldn't do it for fun, but like a plane crash, you know, that kind of thing. I still wouldn't. I'd rather starve to death, but I'd rather eat people. I'd rather be a cannibal. You know, like, there are so many more things I could empathize with and forgive somebody for, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I try to understand the logic, but there's just no way to fucking forgive that. Like, even if he never, even if they never actually did anything, right? As disgusting as a thought that is to speculate on, you know, but still. The way he talks about her, those pictures, like, clearly it's on his mind. What the fuck? Uh. Just, Yep. I would much rather hang out with Hannibal Lecter. And we could talk about sweet bread and whatever. You ever tried Chinese? Yeah. They're delicious. What? They always have a tinge of teriyaki to. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if the Jews taste like lentil soup. I don't know. I don't know. See, that's still more of a comfortable conversation. See, that's more comfortable to laugh at than this fucking thing that's in our White House. That's all I'm saying. Well, gee, Jeffrey, is that just a bunch of parts of one person, or is that multiple people in parts in your fridge? How'd you fit all that in there? That's just it's just normal conversation by comparison. Yeah, well, the first three I had with ketchup and fries. Didn't he say some shit like that too? And the last one was with marinara sauce or some shit. I had a candlelight dinner with my second to last victim as I dined on her lower torso. Her upper torso was sitting across the table from me. That's still not as fucking weird as Trump could have actually fucked his daughter. His daughter. Daughter. Little baby girl. Yeah, come on. God. I want to stab him right now, okay? Like, okay. Felt good to have the stabbing motion happen. Just feels right. Ah. Who else is ready for President Pelosi? I think the baby shark is. Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do do do, baby shark. Anyways. So she's the first person in apparently several decades to actually return to House speakership. Yeah. I say it's not for me to decide, but for all the women who he pressured into having sex with him, etc. Like that's my ultimate logical decision. But you know, for the moment, yeah, gouge out his eyes, cool. And maybe we can just have like a big Democrat blue painted donkey skull fucking. I'm not even really like much of a Democrat, but just that would just for the funniness of it. Just blood gushing out with every thrust. Yes, no room for people on this channel that aren't hentai or horror or some kind of depraved fucking movie fans. Because we talk about some sick shit here. And when it all comes down to it, nothing quite makes blood thrust out of a skull's eye socket like a donkey dick. Something about the shake of the donkey Panagia. I think the funniest possible way for him to go would be right after he makes his resignation speech. He starts convulsing, and then like the alien pops out of his chest and, hello my honey, hello my baby, hello my ragtime gal, you know. That's just how this really should end. It's been so fucking weird up until this point. And then it goes and like jumps inside a Pence, and then like everybody shoots him. And then Genghis Khan comes out with his Hawaiian shirt playing the acoustic guitar. Wasted away again in Margaritaville. And then Nancy Pelosi actually chops his head off. Genghis Khan's. Not Trump's. Trump's already dead with his chest open. Fucking alien jumped into Mike Pence's face and he got riddled with bullets. Genghis was just trying to make like a nonchalant exit. Like, oh, nobody pay attention to me. I'm just a fictional character. Because he is. And that's why it's okay that Nancy Pelosi chops his head off, see? Just... Yes, here at Easy Reefers, we're occasionally suffering from speech impediments, but we're always ready to chop people's heads off. You know, because karma. Hashtag the lost begotten. Wasting away somewhere north of Kazakhstan. Looking for a new culture to kill. Some people say that there's a woman to blame, but I know that I killed them too. You see what I did there? Because there was the cover up about the whole false goddess thing. Yeah, oh, it's like meaningful nonsense. Yes, it's my specialty. Well, excuse me. It's my speciality. I am the world's premier expert on the Southern Oracle. It is my scientific speciality. To the witch. Oh no, it's Genghis Khan. He thinks he can pass through the Southern Oracle. No, turn back, Genghis, turn back. Oh no, he's dropped his straw hat. He's turning back for it. He spilled his margarita. Oh no, he's just frustrated. And he's dead. Poor, drunk, retired Genghis. Don't call him Genghis, because then he thinks you're making fun of him because he really sucks at Jenga. And one thing you do not want is a drunk Genghis Khan bashing you over the head with his acoustic guitar. Hasta la vista, Trumpy. With the sunglasses there. Lung juice coming out of my face into the trash can. Sorry. I don't think I really needed to sing a song about that, did I? That song was called Lung Juice. And if I didn't do that, I would have some severe respiratory problems. Because I spend way too much time in this fucking mildew-infested house. So, I apologize, but It is necessary. And I second that amendment. Bang. Anyway. One day when I have the laptop back, I can at least censor myself, but then hopefully we'll be in a house that doesn't require me fucking coughing so damn much. No, I mean, the only way, like, as I've said, the only way for this to be fully resolved is by the whole truth getting out. So people realize why they effectively lost their religion. That's the only way to stop the South from basically wanting to have a second civil war. We need to attack the root of the attack that's been perpetrated against us. And that is this war against Christianity that is actually a war against facts. Masquerading as pseudoscientific atheism. When in fact, a lot of these so-called atheists are in fact chaos worshippers. And you know, if they haven't thought deeply enough to realize that, that's not my problem. But at this point, there is no more scientific nihilism. They've already concluded that there must be some sort of beyond temporal understanding state that existed before the Big Bang. Otherwise, there would have been no catalyst, and the Big Bang could not have happened. And then from there, they've further speculated that there were, in fact, multiple Big Bangs from multiple alternate dimensions in previous time periods. But of course, that all came to be in 2011, when that universe was created and the old one was destroyed. But then you'd need me to tell you about that because I'm the one who did it. And if I didn't do it, Russia wouldn't have taken Crimea when that shroud fell off my sword rack. Etc. 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 I think the biggest thing that must have freaked out all the world governments was when the UFO activity just sort of ceased all at once. Right when it got to its big climax there in the summer of 2011. Everybody was expecting big things to happen in 2012. And it seemed like it happened a year early. A year and a half, even. And now we have a man attacking a McDonald's employee over a straw. Because that's the world we live in. That's what happens when you let pseudoscience go to war with pseudo-religion, and that's the only discussion anybody really has. What the hell? Fire destroys a historic upstate New York church. Just a little tiny church, too. Oh. We had 2 hoses on it when they had fucking 5 fire trucks pulled up. Sheesh. Anyways. So was the problem with the religious right that they didn't want to take care of the environment because the Bible tells them not to? Or because a bunch of con artists infiltrated Christianity to turn it into an instrument of political power, the same way they've done throughout history? We grew up thinking we learned about how this was done. We grew up thinking we learned to keep our guard up for these kinds of things. But when the time came, we let Fox News speak for the Christians in this country. Plain and simple. And then basically the whole church became everybody's bitter old uncle, you know? Fox News, the home of talking about how neo-Nazis have the right to protest and kids from Florida who saw a bunch of their friends get shot in front of them don't. Oh, because one of them happens to be an actor and people have confidence in somebody who was already an actor who also happened to be one of the kids at that school who lost their friends being the spokesperson? it makes logical sense why somebody who was already an actor at that school, a kid actor, you know, just like I used to want to be, was a fucking little kid actor. Back when I was cute. And if some shit went down at my school, you'd have bet your ass people would have looked to me to go and talk to the reporters. And I could think of a few other kids who also in theater classes would have been looked to do the same. One girl in particular in acting class, and the daughter of one of the teachers, and like the niece of the principal and shit, she'd have probably been the one up there. Because she's an actor, she didn't have the right to speak for the school? No. That makes her the perfect person. Just like the whole idea that the Jews shouldn't be involved with the media in America. Do you know what happened to them in Germany? They had nightly talk shows like Letterman, joking almost incessantly, demeaning Jews, sort of the way we used to have our talk shows demeaning black people, only more persistently. Not just the political shows. I'm talking just the late night little comedy variety shows. It's not hard to find recordings of this. So when they came here and brought all their money here, what do you think they would invest in? What would you invest in if you were them? Movie studios and comedy programs and organizations that would say lobby the American government and governments of the world to keep media independent. You know? Like, who's that really evil Jew who does that, and how dare he? Oh yeah, George Soros. That's pretty much what he does. They go around investing strategically in media and other corporations with the idea of preventing another Holocaust, basically. Not like, I don't even know what the supposed agenda of George Soros might be, but he's just an evil Jew with a lot of money, so, you know, they say he's behind shit. He's just a smart old man who isn't, he has Jewish heritage, but he isn't actually a practicing Jew, who doesn't like religion. He doesn't like religion because, in his mind, he's seen, you know, that whole leftist, anti-religious propaganda thing played out. Much in the same mindset as like a Bill Maher. And that's how he invests. Just a fucking human being trying to do right by himself and his children. Unlike Donald Trump, who participates in human trafficking, because he doesn't even have the basic fucking respect of his own family, the wife of his daughter or his daughter. Doesn't even respect them as human beings. And you think there's anything that the Russians wanted him to get involved in that he would have turned down? No, he does human trafficking to staff his own fucking hotels. He was even doing it, apparently, and is about to be indicted for it in Florida. Really? You. This is what I mean by shitty people aren't very good at what they do. Because essentially they're being shitty because they're fucking lazy and they don't know how to plan things out in a profitable way. Okay? Without being shitty. So Donald Trump's getting in trouble for human trafficking at Mar-a-Lago. Of all the places you want to cut your costs, you don't do it at your most public venues. You know, like, I'm just saying, like, it defies even shitty business logic. He's not even good at being a shitty businessman, which is why he had to turn to Russia. Anyways. So the initial thing that made it logical, at least in this country, you know, after all the different things that religion has been accused of, because of Fox News, because of essentially a plot from the same anti-American source, religion became seen logically as a destructive force in this country because it was causing people to ignore scientific data that indicated we were killing the fucking planet. Meanwhile, because no one in the center is ever allowed to fucking speak, the idea of stewardship never became the key talking point on the left side, on the Democratic side, which still purported to be representing proper Christianity and indeed, you know, compassionate conservatism was a response to the idea that the Democrats had basically moved into a slot where American was synonymous with Christian. But when the time came for people to work together to solve crises after the supposed end of the Cold War, nothing happened. We became the most divided politically country like on the planet that wasn't like ethnically segregated, you know? Like there's some really divided places out there. But America's got this weird thing going on since Fox News came around where there's just two different countries talking past each other. And now it's became like, you know, like the entire way our country is governed, foreign policy and domestic, is just flipped upside down because of one fucking presidential election. Holy shit. That was the point of all this. That was the point of corrupting the religion. That was the point of setting up straw man arguments to get people to reject religion. You got to have the corrupt religion to give people logical reasons to reject it. And then you save those shortcomings of the left for your deep state people, for your truthers, so they can all say, aha, these people are all liars. No, they were just being bullshitted by people that are smarter than all of you. So it's easy for me to see why, for instance, perfect example, the Haeckel drawings, the drawings of the embryos of the different larvae, right? Not only did it take Russian propagandists, Russian societal infiltration to make people in the West think that, to make people in the West teach that to their children. I saw those fucking drawings in my science textbooks in school. And they're false. They're just lies. They're made up. It took Russian propaganda to get it there. But understand this. It took Russian propaganda to bring my attention to it. Because only then did that truth, that little GIF, that little meme showing the actual images, when it became useful for them to divide us further, did that truth come out and get used for that purpose. Not published by someone whose objective was to bring people closer together, but someone whose objective was to point the finger at this vast left-wing Jewish conspiracy. Because, you know, it's George Soros and fucking Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi, not Vladimir Putin, that you should be worried about. Not Kazakhstan, China, and Russia forming an alliance. No. Nothing to see there. That's why all that propaganda was out there, to keep people from realizing that was happening. Period. Being made paranoid against your own government. And in doing so, are made to sin. Because when you lose faith in your own government, you are disobeying the word of God. And furthermore, it is a valid commandment because it makes sense. Because when you lose faith in your government, you lose your obligation to see that your government stays true to its obligations. You give up. You become useless as a citizen. Then, because of people like you, your government continues to be corrupted. We are very lucky in this country to have had such godlike men create our founding documents? What hidden miracles lie in the secrets behind those men and those documents that we should to this day have such a system where even Trump can only take office just to be exposed in the spotlight? Oh, fuck a duck. I am done on cigarettes. I gotta go get some more. Well, I found a half a cigarette in my bedroom. It's too bad I don't have sufficient coverage around here. We could just go on a drive on the live stream. It'd be fun to just try that anyways. We get better coverage away from the house than by my house. I like live in a dead spot. You go up to the other side of the street, or towards the street, and there's the towers from the next town to pick up. So what do I mean by debunking bullshit and getting back to the truth? How far do you have to go before it's effective? Well, consider it tantamount to the task of exercising the demon of pride. That is purifying it. Now, while I was able to make him see the error of his ways, as it were, the problem for me has been in trying to give him a reason to give a fuck. Mostly about humans in general, but well, there's two problems that he has, basically. One is I never really planned to mate for him. So there's not exactly an equal waiting and ready. And two is because of this, and because we're talking about Lucifer here, for him to not be angry and vengeful anymore. It means he's basically depressed. Lonely. A loneliness I can empathize with, for sure. I thought I had a little surprise plan for him. But he's finally having financial problems thanks to his BMW money pit. Yeah, he incarnated as a human. Presently. Just in case you're not familiar with the story. So is Gabriel. Although, haven't heard from him for a while. The Shadow Dancer, man. How many times have I tried to place it? And every time I think I've got it figured out, I suffer such a massive fucking wave of spiritual energy, my freaking memory practically resets. There's a secret story, and it's the one that keeps fucking me up when trying to cross-reference how I simply remember things, how the true story is supposed to be told, and how, the whole Hathor, Horus the Younger, Horus the Elder thing plays out with Isis and Osiris. The children's story. All right, Mr. Conway. Should I set up a view of the fish tanks and keep the live stream going, or should I just start the live stream again in a little while when I get back? Because if I wait much longer, I'm afraid the freaking store isn't even going to be open. I'm not going to be able to get cigarettes. It's probably not even open right now. Be driving around town, wandering, and fucking try to get cigarettes. But I could just leave the damn stream on and let y'all look at the fish tanks for a while. But I don't know. Fuck. I should probably bring my phone with me, right? Let me start by asking you and then make my own damn decision, because thinking out loud is just sometimes the best way to go. I guess let me just try to sum up about pride and how we need to maybe focus on the Roman part of the Catholic thing for a change, you know? It seems so obscure, so illogical, until you learn what Rome really was, even to the appointment of czars in Russia. And the people who have fought for freedom itself over the centuries should learn that that is what makes them a culture worth being proud of itself. And when you stop being a guiding light unto the nations, when you stop accepting refugees, when you stop sending aid, you stop deserving of that recognition. So basically what I'm trying to say, attention white people, get the idea of being superior out of your heads. But if you even want to be equal enough to deserve to exist, I suggest you get the fuck along with other people. Otherwise, by being ignorant, you're proving your inferiority. Anyways. And, just a word of advice at random for some random person in the future who might see this. If you have a cousin who's like ugly as shit but has money, has a good work ethic, something, successful, try not to let them wind up with a member of their own family group, and see if the kids don't come out prettier and smarter. Just saying. That's how, not racist cultures progress and advance and keep themselves disease-free. When somebody's genetics start to take a downturn, you find them a nice little black girl, Chinese girl, Mexican girl, Honduran, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's like, it's a solution to what, like, bastard like eugenicist would say. Like if somebody's like deformed in some way, they shouldn't be allowed to breed. No, they could find another ugly person of a completely separate racial type, and guess what? The kids are going to be better looking than either of them. So like the whole idea of Nietzscheanism, racism, eugenicism, or whatever, eugenicism, it's idiotic. Like there's never going to be one superior race, because all genetics gradually deform. So there are multiple races, so that anybody who doesn't want to be lazy and fucking ignorant can form a society where the genetics prosper by selective interracial breeding, by letting nature take its course, by having yentas, like smart old ladies who know how to hook people up and make good-looking children, Leave it to the old ladies. Men should not be involved. All right, that's tradition. Tradition. Take it from me, like the fucking the least Jewish person you'll ever see on YouTube. That is a side of Jewish culture we should all embrace right there. The whole matchmakers thing, because we just go out and get drunk and fuck each other, and it's just, no, it's not working, people. That's how you wind up with those ugly babies, you know, because you knocked up your cousin, and then she's got to like lie to you about it, and her husband. Next thing you know, you got some ugly baby with her husband's money, and he needs to go find a black girl. Or else you just created a line of rich, ugly white people, and that's never fun. Is this uncomfortable? Should I get back to talking about Donald Trump fucking his daughter? Oh, the kitten ran off. He doesn't like that shit. Oh, damn it. I forgot I gotta go. Anyways. So. We all need to take a deep breath and realize that shaming Christians, shaming Europe, shaming the West in general for everything that it's ever done is probably not psychologically healthy for American children. Fair enough. That's going to be all for now. I might start this up when I get back. Until then, don't forget to click the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.